Brittany. I'm actually the development manager for March of Dimes here in the High Desert. Thank you for joining us as we kick off March for Babies here in the High Desert. Woohoo! This is actually my favorite day. I do like March for Babies, but it's because the team captains, you guys are the ones really moving this mission and rallying the people in the community. So I just love being in a room where it's a little more intimate and I get to talk to you all, so thank you so much for being here. This room represents the heart of March for Babies here in the High Desert, and we're so thankful for your part. Thank you to our families, team captains, and sponsors, and loyal supporters who know it takes every one of us working together to build a brighter future for us all. We're excited to share new developments with you and talk about fun ways to grow our teams. Today is about inspiring each other to launch this season for March for Babies and make it to our best year ever. This is the ideal time to connect with fellow community leaders, collect helpful materials in the back of the room, and jumpstart March.
I'm very proud to serve as March Babies Chair and stand beside you and hundreds of thousands of people across the country who share our commitment to making a huge difference in the lives for all moms, babies, and families. I'm honored to follow in the footsteps of Rick Smith from Victor Valley Global Medical Center, and I'll do my best to pave the way for the individual who will follow in 2020. March for Babies is such an incredible campaign because of the exceptional leadership and support from people like you and all of you leading your individual teams. Before we get into 2019, let's give a big thank you to our top teams from 2018. These folks care deeply about our cause, and it shows. If you hear your team name, please stand and make some noise. Shake those towels. Victor Valley Global Medical Center. Apple Valley Unified School District. Desert Community Bank. Victor Elementary School District. And Choice Medical Group. This year I'm counting on each of you to help us reach and surpass our fundraising goal of $125,000. You've taken a big first step by being here today, and your role is crucial to our success. March for Babies is a day for everyone. Together we hope, remember, and celebrate at our walk sites nationwide. These 3 areas will be featured again at festival sites and along walk routes. We hope for a day when all moms and babies are healthy. Every step you take makes a difference. Remember those babies we lost and honor them with special tributes throughout the day. We celebrate your family and ours, including NICU graduates, with fun events and activities, such as our superhero sprint, complete with purple cape. And that's a lot of fun for the little ones that are running with their families, who always cheer them on. And as they cross the finish line at Ambassador Avenue, the celebration continues in the family fun zone. From start to finish, it's an unforgettable experience. As March for Baby leaders, we must recruit more families, teams, and sponsors to fundraise. They'll really feel a part of our community when they join us and actively participate in fighting for the health of all moms and babies. Starting out among our many remarkable people and groups are the national sponsors who make March for Babies possible. Kmart, Famous Footwear, HCA, and Cigna. And now let's give a big round of applause for our presenting sponsor, Ontario Airport. We're also equally grateful for our local gold sponsors, Big Five and Choice Medical Group. Let's give them a big hand. And last but certainly not least, to our media sponsors who help us raise awareness about this critical issue. The Daily Press, KVFG Route 103, the media support for March for Babies helps March of Dimes give 4 million babies born each year the best possible start. Now let's talk about the incredible heart and soul of March for Babies. This group represents nearly 75% of all money raised, and it's because they are so dedicated and commitment. And of course, I'm talking about our amazing teams and the exceptional team captains who lead them. Here with us today is Kristen Hernandez. She has been a team captain for over 3 years and the 2016 Ambassador family. She will share with us her secrets for success and motivation for stepping up to this important leadership role. Please welcome Kristen.
All right, thank you. What a pleasure it is being here. Being a March for Babies team captain for High Desert and rallying my coworkers, my family, friends, the community to fight for the health of all moms and babies has been a wonderful experience. My biggest motivation is the impact we have on families, on real people we know and others we may meet someday, because we support March of Dimes. But what makes me most proud of my role and motivates me to do better every year is actually being at the March for Babies event with all of you. Walking alongside friends, old and new, seeing the team t-shirts and the family signs and hearing why others get involved is truly gratifying. I also have my own personal reasons for being involved, and I won't spend too much time there. But earlier, we were told to wave the rally towel for everything that has impacted us personally. And as I was sitting there waving the towels, I thought every single one of these things applies to me, except for have you ever had a healthy pregnancy that didn't have complications? I am a mom to 2 little boys. Ethan and Andrew are my 2 sons. Ethan was born in 2015, and he was born with a rare and very difficult birth defect that ultimately took his life. And through Ethan's story, we were the Ambassador family 2 years ago, just to share just the efforts March of Dimes does for all moms and babies, and part of that is reducing birth defects, and so that less families have to go through what we went through, ultimately having to say goodbye to our firstborn child. So ever since then, we have kind of been involved in March of Dimes. It's something I have believed in personally. And in a crazy, crazy turn of events, my husband and I became pregnant again with our son Andrew, and I went into labor when I was only 22 weeks pregnant. I ended up spending 10 weeks on hospital bed rest. The doctors thought I was going to deliver within days, and by some miracle, he hung in there for 2.5 months while I laid in the hospital bed, and Andrew was born on the morning of the March for Babies at BBC last year at 8 a.m., just as many of you were showing up at BBC. So that is why March of Dimes is just so special to me personally. But today I want to talk to you as team captains. I have been the head team captain for Apple Valley Unified for the past, I guess you could say this is my 3rd year, but it's kind of my 2nd, because last year I was kind of captaining in a different way, I guess, by living it, being our motivation from afar. So, what can you do to prepare to be a successful March for Babies team this year? I'm going to go through 4 simple steps that you can take. Step 1 is to start now. Decide to be a March for Babies team captain. You can sign up at marchforbabies.org today to get started if you aren't already registered to be a team captain. Step number 2, recruit team members. So this could be friends, family, co-workers, neighbors, anybody you know to join your team. The strongest, most successful teams have at least 10 team members, so that's a great goal to try to match and even surpass that. Step number 3 is to raise funds, and don't worry, we'll show you just how easy fundraising can be. Kind of a side note, when we were approached to be a team at the Apple Valley Unified and we were given the goal year 1 of $15,000, my eyes got kind of big and I thought that is a huge goal. It really is quite a bit easier than you may think it is if you just ask people and get them excited. We've smashed that a few times and we're hoping to do it again, and we're coming for Victor L. So. Step number 4, march with us. So join us on Saturday, April 13th at Victor Valley College for a memorable and inspiring day. Recruiting team members is very crucial. So do you know somebody who's been impacted by March of Dimes? Someone who's a leader in your company or social circle, or someone who loves to change lives? So let's take a moment to brainstorm who you're going to call, email, or text to share. registration and fundraising rewards to inspire people to sign up and begin fundraising, and it all starts with you. For teams who raise at least $1,000 online, that's 4 weeks before the March for Babies event, team captains will receive a March of Dimes branded hat. You'll get an email about this starting 10 weeks before March for Babies. This hat will be sent to qualifying team captains a few weeks before the big day. And walkers who register at least 8 weeks before March for Babies will be rewarded with a customizable Wear Your Y button to wear proudly at this year's event. They can write the name or include a photo of a special baby they'd like to remember or celebrate at March for Babies. These fundraising rewards help recognize marchers for their hard work. Walkers will be notified of the rewards program through email starting 14 weeks before March for Babies. They'll receive a certificate to redeem their reward within 8 weeks after their event. And remember, if you have any questions, March of Dimes staff and partners are available to make our jobs easier. All of us have been personally affected by the March of Dimes mission to lead the fight for the health of all moms and babies. You may have had or know a baby who was born prematurely or with a birth defect. There may be a mom in your life who suffered a loss or pregnancy complication. Or perhaps you're grateful for your healthy family. Your connection to the cause will keep you motivated to help empower moms and babies to have the best start possible. Thank you, and I hope I see you at the next March for Babies.
This is pretty cool. And there's a great script to follow. I'm not following. Make a list of your friends. Go to some of the business people that you know are successful and ask them to support your March of Dimes walk. Very cool this morning. I don't usually tell my story except one day a year now. And it's usually here. I used to tell my story a lot of places. People ask, why are you walking for the March of Dimes? Show them a few pictures of the people that are here this morning. And our community's been very generous. I have to mention Jeff Salkin because he's not here this morning, but Jeff's the new general manager at radio stations, and apparently he's working. But for years he helped us walk hold together. So anyway, ask your friends, ask your neighbors, ask your people in business, and they will help you out. I'm proud to be a member of the Circle of Champions, but I'm going to regress a little bit because it's when I'm a little bit more comfortable telling you and why the March of Dimes means something. My friend Renee over there in the back, 44 years ago, came home from school and gave me a sponsor sheet to walk for the March of Dimes. And Neat, the lady from the March of Dimes, after we had our first little meeting, there was Renee and about 4 or 5 other kids and me. The lady said, well, if you don't raise $500, we're not going to have another walk because we have staff time and we have to come up from Riverside to support Victorville Walk. So they mapped out this 20-mile walk and they gave us this sheet that said, well, this is where your walk's going to be. Renee said, hey, I'm going to ask my mom and dad, and he committed to $20 for him and his mom and dad to help support the March of Dimes walk. So looking around with the enthusiasm, I realized the other $480 was going to be some effort. So I got home and I asked my dad if he would give me a ride 20 miles so I could see how far 20 miles was. We get in his car, 20 miles driving didn't seem very tough. A few minutes later, I said, hey, I think I can do this. But I should probably back up and tell you part of why it was an arduous deal. Now at 56 years old, looking at the audience, and the reason why I'm here is certainly for the kids, but I hope I'm here to motivate the parents to let you realize that all your children's dreams can come true also. And your dreams are really for your kids to have a great, successful life. I walked that 20 miles the first year. And how did the fundraising happen? Since that's supposed to be part of the key. Since Mr. Hogeman sits at his school office, happens to be where I went to junior high school. Here's how my fundraising effort went. My first day at school, after I got my sponsor sheet, happened to be a Tuesday. And I was in Mr. Rafferty's 8th grade math class. And about 5 minutes into my math class, the little box went up and it said, "Mr. Rafferty, please send Tom Shivers down to the principal's office." And I hadn't been to the principal's office. So here I go down to the principal's office, and Mr. Turner, our principal, some of you may have known him, he says, "Tommy, with the math grade you're getting right now, you need to be paying attention to your math. You don't need to be paying attention to your marching arts." And he said, "Do I have your sponsor sheet?" So he takes my sponsor sheet and he asks me if I have another one. And I said, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have one more." So on that sponsor sheet, I had 35 cents from a kid named Mark Anomos. Mark's dad lives, he still lives in the high desert. And Mr. Turner took my sponsor sheet with 35 cents on it. And he had a teacher's meeting the next day. And here's how the teacher's meeting went. All the teachers come in, and he said, "If it's not a big surprise to you, ladies and gentlemen, Tommy's my favorite student. And if you'd like to teach here next year, please pass your signature on the sheet that's going around the table." Then he called the bus drivers, the cafeteria workers, the proctors, and everybody else, and he had the same meeting. Hence, we had a second walk. So, it's my privilege to tell you that this is Victor Valley's 44th walk, and we'll be there having fun, and it's really a matter of asking. So, in a very brief story, when you raised hands on why you're walking for the March Times, now that I'm fat and I have hand boobs, no, I'm not pregnant, I just look like it. But I weighed 1 pound 2 ounces when I was born. I was supposed to be born in February on Valentine's Day. I was born on the 28th of November. The technology that they know now, they didn't know then. When my mom was having stomach cramps and wasn't feeling well and having pregnancy pains, she went to the closest hospital, and shortly thereafter I arrived. No notice, no anything. She was not even close to expecting to have me show up. 11 weeks later, I got to come home from the hospital, and here I am. So, minus all the cool stuff and the medical technology and everything that's happened, that part of the story, I've had the surgeries, I've had the braces, I've had all that stuff. But really, the cool part is, the side benefit of it is that if you could live in a community that they show that they care, it's pretty cool to have an event that's 44 years old that has a lot of people come out. And if you think about the highest percentage, some of us in here have a real reason why we want to help. But the majority are the thousands of people that donate and have walked over the years that don't have a personal invested reason other than they're a nice person. That's the reason. Because they want to make a difference. And so, thank you for being here. Ask people, share with people in any of your schools or organizations. If in any way I can come and chat or help or motivate or do anything like that, I'd be really more than happy to. And thanks, it's nice to see smiley faces. Commercial at the walk site. Little Addison just turned 5 years old, Carol's little granddaughter, and I will tell the March of Dimes ladies, which I have said, I have to repeat it. Addison went to Disneyland for her birthday, and she went about December 15th or something like that. But the single greatest day in her life as a little girl to meet all the princesses that were Disney princesses was walking through March Times and getting her picture taken around the lake with all those girls. That took the time to make a little girl have a really great time. And then, as I shared with Mr. Hogan, it was kind of neat. The football coach was there, and the cheerleaders were there. And the spirit of community we've had some neat walks. But if you think walking 20 miles around Victorville getting lost, that wasn't a good time. Walking around the lake and enjoying meeting your friends and doing something that you can see everybody, because you actually get to stay in contact with everybody. Even people that are walking around, you get to see them. When you're walking 20 miles, you don't get to see anybody except your foot right in front of you, and then you're tired and sore. So this event and this site and the enthusiasm, it's great for little kids. We have some people that just come by and grab a donut from my shop. So if you come by my little table, usually I'm under the California Highway Patrol tent. And I give everybody that shows up at the little table there a donut and a hello. And so I have a couple of my good friends walking with me. And I'd like to see one of you there. So I do know, because Lydia was saying at the back table, my friends have both committed to walk with me. My friend Robert Klein and my friend Larry Wilcox from the television show Chips. And if you think local commitment when someone says they don't have time, I like to tell this one. Robert happens to be a pretty successful actor in his own right. His son Chris has been off the charts. But Robert Klein walked for the March Times 25 consecutive years without ever missing the March Times. And he gets up at 4 o'clock in the morning to drive from Los Angeles. So when people say, boy, I'm busy or I have something else, sometimes there's a little personal sacrifice somebody has to give something up. And I don't know what he gave up over the years, but he would tell you he didn't give up anything. He enjoys being there. He likes seeing his friends. And so certainly Facebook, the telephone still works, emails. I'm not a real technological guy. I like to walk in and ask. But I appreciate everyone who helps, and especially the people that choose to help, that don't have a vested interest. It really means a lot to everyone. Fred, it's nice to see you this morning too. So, Renee, on behalf of our community, it's important to everyone know the newspaper's changed over the years, but if it wasn't for the Daily Press, for all 44 years, this walk wouldn't happen. If they didn't promote it, if they didn't help it, if they didn't suggest or thank people, take the pictures, community involvement, nobody would ever know. There's lots of communities where people do nice things, but no one ever hears about it. They don't know and they don't know how to participate. So getting your attention now, obviously the internet's helped change that world. But thank you very much. And your personal concern to help makes a difference too. Tom, I'm wishing you lots of luck if we can help. Thank you very much.
Our journey definitely wasn't easy, but we're proud to be with all of you here today to kick off the March of Babies season. I'd like to introduce you guys to one of the most beautiful and most strongest women I know. And that was before we had a premature baby. She's awesome, she's amazing, she's the mother of my children, and her name is Katie. And she's going to tell you a little bit more about us and what we've gone through and the reason why we're here today.
Thank you. You know, some days I really just want to be over this. I want to move past it. I want to pretend as if it just never happened to us. But then I remember why it's so important to keep sharing our story. For all the babies like Brayden that were born too soon. So here's his story that I'm proud to share with you guys today. We had always dreamed of having 3 children. So when we found out we were pregnant, we were overjoyed. Just super excited on cloud 9. This is the 3rd and final piece to our puzzle, and just overjoyed. At only 8 weeks into that pregnancy, that joy was soon overshadowed by fear. And I was diagnosed with a subchorionic hemorrhage, and it was just, ever since that point, things were really stressful, and we kept fearing losing him and things like that. That was only the beginning, those ER visits. At only 23 weeks, my water ruptured. I was admitted to St. Mary's for 11 days. I stayed on strict bed rest, just hoping and praying that everything would be okay. On that 11th day, our condition started to worsen. Our doctor decided that we needed a higher level of care and transferred us down to Pomona Valley. As soon as the transfer began, just on the ambulance ride down, I started having contractions. It became more and more strong and frequent as time went on. That night, the doctor told me that they were going to let labor take its course due to the fear of an infection setting in. That was the scariest night of my life. Calling my husband, calling my dad, telling them, please rush down here as quick as you can. They're not going to stop it. This is really happening right now. Like all our final fears had been to a realization at that point. Because those 11 days, we were really just hoping we were going to make it to at least 34 weeks till he would be delivered safely. So there was no stopping it. It was coming. Laying there, panicked and writhing in pain,
I watched as the nurses quickly prepared a little ice butt in front of me. And then at 3:30 a.m., Brayden Noah made his entrance into this world. The tiniest, yet the most perfect baby I had ever laid my eyes on. Came out miraculously breathing all on his own, but had to be whisked away immediately to take him to the NICU. Later that morning, we regained our strength. Prior to that day, we had never even heard of a NICU or seen a premature baby, yet this was our new reality. We walked down to the NICU, scrubbed up, met all the nurses and doctors, and then we met our baby Brayden. He grabbed on, his whole hand wrapped around my pinky finger so tight, the tightest little grasp. That was the first strongest memory I have, just almost as if he knew who I was, and he was trying to assure me that he was going to be okay and let me know just how strong he really was. Those first few days were a blur. I really don't know how we got through it, leaving the hospital without our son and having to entrust the medical professionals to keep him alive. Day after day, we just slept with our phone glued to our ear. I would wake every 2 hours, trying to come help for him, do what I could, just anything to get through those first beginning days. And day after day, we would visit him, and then the reality of him coming home became more and more real. We saw him grow, tubes became removed, and he was doing more and more on his own, and the reality became real, that he was really coming home to us, and he was going to be okay. And Brayden, he's the strongest boy I know. He fought for 103 days. He ended up coming home on August 8th, 4 days before his due date, eating on his own, breathing on his own, just beating all odds against him. I'm so happy that Brayden was able to beat all those odds because he's the light of our life. We couldn't imagine living without him here today. So,
We'd like to thank all of our family, friends, all of you here today, and of course the March of Dimes, for helping out with hundreds of thousands of families who, like us, have been personally affected by the work of March of Dimes. I truly believe that with your commitment today and throughout the March of Dimes season, we can see a time when we can put this behind us, and we can ask ourselves, what can we tackle next? And this would be just a distant memory. But right now, today, we come together for every family who's had firsthand hardships, those who are celebrating their health, and those who are just trying to start their families. We can't wait to see all of you at Victor Valley College with us. Thank you. They said he might have all types of things going on, but, you know, he's amazing. I say good morning.
Good morning. How are you? We're good. Thank you.